Hello, hello, hello. Hello, good evening. How are you? This is Bookie here. I know this is a late live. Apologies for coming late and not coming through yesterday. Just at the last minute, something came up, so I couldn't come through yesterday. All right, so today I hope you are all well. I hope you've had a wonderful Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. And also just to say welcome to the new members in our community. Hi Foluke, how are you? Great to see you. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to talk about menopause symptoms. Yes, so that's the topic of discussion for today, menopause symptoms. I think I'm going to just cover them I'll talk about the most common. So this list is by no means exhaustive, but we'll touch on the common symptoms of the menopause so that women are aware. They know what's going on. When things start to change in their bodies, they can appreciate and understand that and think possibly could this be menopause. Why do we experience symptoms? It's really, just at a basic level, not to get into anything too deep, it's just because we are losing our hormones, estrogen, progesterone and testosterone. We are getting to a phase where our ovaries are producing less of these hormones, and because these hormones impact various systems in our body, that's why we start to experience symptoms when we have decreased levels, just to keep it very simple. So when I talk about menopause symptoms, I'm going to talk about them in three groups. So I'll talk about physical symptoms, I'll talk about psychological symptoms, and I'll also talk about vaginal symptoms. So the common physical symptoms that women experience typically are, obviously, we all know about the hot flushes, night sweats, we have interrupted sleep or sleep problems. A lot of women suffer from joint aches and pains, and muscle pains as well. I'll touch on the aspect around lack of interest in sex or low libido. Some women experience headaches, which can be akin to migraine sometimes. There's fatigue, and then we have aspects around irregular periods. So there's irregular periods, but we also have periods that are lighter, but some women also experience really extremely heavy periods that can be quite disruptive. I'll touch on another physical symptom, which are skin changes. We notice, obviously the tone of our skin changes. Some people start to develop excessive dry skin where we didn't have skin problems before. Those can appear, and that's just because our hormones are implicated in collagen production, so that can come through. If I move on to, so those are common physical symptoms. If I move on to our psychological symptoms, we're looking at things like mood swings, low mood. So 1 minute you can be really low, the next minute you can be very happy, next minute, could just burst out crying. So that fluctuation in hormones also affects our moods. We've heard a lot of women talk about experiencing anxiety. It may well be that they had experienced anxiety before, but then we have there is an increase to the extent that anxiety comes through. Some women experience irritability. You just feel very on edge and very snappy. And that's not the most pleasant, especially for those around you. And then there are elements of poor concentration, poor focus, and forgetfulness. And you might have heard the word or the term brain fog. So yeah, those are kind of the psychological symptoms that women experience. And then I'm going to just touch on the vaginal symptoms. So that's dryness. So the whole environment of down below just changes as a result of our reduced hormones. So vaginal dryness, painful intercourse, you get pesky itching. You know, you might have itching in the front, itching behind. The skin in that area is thinning, and so it becomes quite sensitive. Some women experience incontinence, so you sneeze or you jump and you have a burst of wee. And the urge, some women might experience an increased urge to to go to the toilet, or going at an increased frequency. So you're drinking, you're not able to retain your fluids. And some women also experience repeated UTIs. So it's not even thrush, but you know, women just are experiencing, you know, just because the environment down below is changing, women can experience UTIs. So I've covered common symptoms. There are so many uncommon symptoms. You know, our mouths are implicated, our gums, our teeth, you know, and that's why I always stress to women, make sure we should make sure we have our checks. The other thing that I know that might be that comes through but is not so common is women start to experience a change in their body odor. And so when I talk about the symptoms, what is important is to be aware of your symptoms, be aware of menopause symptoms, be aware of how this is impacting you at this phase of life. If something new appears, have just, you know, if any woman over 40, mid 40s, into 50s, you know, even if you're postmenopausal, if something different appears, think, could it be related to the menopause? And why that's important is that it helps you to have a decent conversation when you go and present to your doctor, to your healthcare professional. Also, what I would say is not just be aware, but when you start to experience different things, track your symptoms. So what I will do is I'll pop a couple of links with this video to our menopause symptom trackers, so that you can use those trackers to capture and you know, make a note of the symptoms that you're experiencing. What that's useful for is when you go to have a conversation with your doctor, you have documentation that you can, you know, that informs the discussion. So use those. As I said before, this list is not exhaustive. This is I've just touched on the more common symptoms. What I would also pop in the comments is something that we produced on our national menopause program here. Is called the Menopause Self-Care Fact Sheet. It's just a comprehensive sheet of, you know, it talks of symptoms, it talks of what you need to be looking for, it talks of how you can manage, and you know, so it gives some strategies for management as well. As with everything I say on here, your first port of call is your healthcare professional. This is for information purposes only. But what I do know is that symptoms, you know, being aware of symptoms is helpful. And if you are experiencing any symptoms that are impacting your quality of life, that, you know, it's important to be aware of those. You know, at the areas around the, you know, the psychological symptoms I spoke about, they can impact, you know, our work life, that, you know, the irritability and things like that can impact our relationships, at work. So we need to be mindful. We need to be mindful of how the menopause is affecting us, but also, you know, next time I will talk about possible solutions. But a couple of resources that are helpful for us now will be our menopause symptom tracker, and I'll also pop a link in there to the self-care menopause self-care fact sheet. I hope that's been useful. Please let me know, what have you experienced, and if you have some useful solutions, that will be helpful as well. And next week we'll touch on some solutions. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on the replay, please just comment replay, and it's great to have you here, and thank you for Luke for being here. We'll catch up soon. God bless. Bye bye.